Alrighty, this is my first time really ever making a guide, so hope you guys like it, but here we go. I've been looking on YouTube for some useful dungeoneering guides for RuneScape, but really there isn't any, so I decided to make some myself. I'm level 73 dungeoneering. I've been playing this game for about 6-7 years now. Don't even know anymore. But yeah, this skill came out a few months ago. And yeah, I'll just teach you a few tips and tricks that I know. So I've just reset after completing all 35 floors. The idea with the prestige is it sets for how many floors you completed previously. So if I just did floor 35, I would only get a prestige of 1 because I only completed 1 floor. So really you have to complete every floor to get any good experience each time. So I solo. You can duo or go in bigger teams, but it's just annoying trying to find teams. So I stick to soloing. You can set your floor and complexity. Now, some people rush the first floors just using complexity 1. But you might as well do complexity 6 because you get fairly decent experience when you have a good prestige. Alright, so here we go. Okay, now with the starting room, I have bound arrows just in case I need them, and I find it best to have a two-handed weapon. You can have your preference, but the spear has every combat style, so it's very useful. And once you get to 50, you can bind the best plate body you can. Now if you're a ranger, you'll want to bind a bow and leather body and stuff like that, but I'm melee, so now you want to pick up everything in the first room. I leave Heim crabs if there's any, because I mean 20 life points isn't really enough to be useful, but that's just my preference. Novite things don't sell for much either, so I leave them too. And then you sell everything that you don't want back to the smuggler guy, and you buy a pickaxe, and I already picked up a hatchet, but you'd buy a hatchet, you buy a hammer, tinderbox, knife, and when you get up to abandoned and furbished floors, you buy 2 anti-poisons at least. And you can buy a fishing rod and feathers, but they take up inventory space, so I don't really like getting them, because it's not that often that you have the fishing ones. And I just go in and kill everything. Mysterious shades are the most annoying thing for me, but their weakness is slash attacks, so I always use that against them. Otherwise I just train my defense because I'm not really into the other combat stats. And you just pick up food as you progress through the dungeons. Now you'll probably see later on that I'll leave 1 or 2 rooms with monsters in them still. You can leave about 3 monsters and still get the maximum experience for the dungeon. So if you get to a room where there's a monster that you really don't want to fight because it's quite high leveled, or just not in the mood for fighting the monster, you can skip it and just go to the boss. And as time goes on, I'll hopefully add some more guides, depending on how much anybody likes this guide. If it gets any views, I might add some puzzle guides and boss guides, just for anyone who needs to know how to do them. You don't really need to pick up the coins, I just like having lots of coins. It'd be nice if they updated it so you got to keep the coins, but you know, I don't think Jagex is gonna do that. But that's okay. A lot of people have complained about this skill, saying it's too much like a mini game and whatnot, but I quite enjoy it. It's different, which is what they needed in the new skill, not something where you're just lighting logs for hours and hours or building a door again and again. You're actually doing something different. I don't see why everyone complains so much. If they don't like it, they just don't have to train it. Alright, here we go. First puzzle. It's not really much of a puzzle, it's more just a simple follow Simon Says kind of thing. It's just the mime event. He laughed, so I laugh. You can get this with up to 5 people depending on your dungeon. It gets really annoying if you've got idiots, because if you fail, it does a significant amount of damage. Which I won't show because I'm not really in the mood. And you'll find ore and stuff all over the place, and fish, but I really don't think they're too useful when you're just soloing small dungeons, or even when you're in a group doing small dungeons. It just takes up so much time, and the quicker you get the dungeon done, the more experience you get, and you really don't need the armor and food, because as you can see, I've already got heaps of food and they're not really doing much damage at all. And look, there's more salvials. I love my salvials. They heal decent experience, unlike other things. Okay, and every time you see a key, you want to pick it up straight away, because otherwise you have to end up backtracking trying to find where the keys are, and it just wastes lots of time. And I'll probably mention time a fair bit, because time is something you don't want to waste when dungeoneering. Another reason why I like the spear is because you can poison it. Although a lot of things don't get poisoned because they're immune, and you can't poison any bosses, but it's still useful, as you just saw. It just does that little bit of damage now and then, which can be useful. And it's always best to eat your low healing food. So if you pick up Heim crabs, eat then, but eat red eye, then dusk eel, then flatfish, and then I think short finned eel is next, and then web snipper, and save your salve eels, blue crabs, and cave morays for the boss, because you don't want to be eating really low healing food in the boss, because it just stops you from being able to attack because you're eating. But right now it's not really a problem for me to be eating low level food because I have heaps of time. And I think it's best to open every bonus room, even when you find the boss. Don't fight the boss straight away. Oh, you can fight the boss and then go back and open the bonus rooms, but it's much easier if you just finish all the bonus rooms before going to the boss, because that way you don't have to, you can just exit straight from the boss room after killing the boss without having to worry.